One wrong stop can change the meaning of Quran. A pause in the wrong place can turn clarity into confusion. This is not just recitation, this is responsibility. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to our Tajweed learning series, in which we will learn our ninth lecture of Tajweed, which is known as Waqf. In the Quran, knowing where to stop is just as important as knowing how to read. A correct stop protect the meaning, a wrong stop can change it completely. So today we will learn how to pause with purpose and recite with understanding. So let's begin and start our lecture. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي رب زدني علما رب زدني علما رب زدني علما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Today we are successfully moving towards our ninth lecture of Tajweed, which is about Waqf. Waqf plays an important role because the meaning depends on the Waqf also. First of all, we learn the definition of Waqf. Waqf means stopping. It refers to the rules of where a reciter should stop, pause, or continue during recitation according to the given condition. So the question arises that why it is essential. Stopping at the wrong place can change the entire meaning of the verse. So correct stopping protects the message of Allah Almighty. There are some common signs to know, so we will be aware that when to stop, pause, or continue during the recitation. Okay, so there are four given signs. Whenever these signs come in any part of the Quran, you have to perform the given rule. Okay, the first sign is, you can see a little meme is present here. This sign meme, you have to stop here. The stop is mandatory, otherwise if you don't stop, it will change the meaning of the verse. Understand? The next sign is of fa. Here we are ordered to stop because it is better to stop at this place. Understand? The next one is, you can see that the sign sad lam, sometimes the sign, this sign comes and you have to continue during your recitation because it is better to keep going without stopping at this point. Okay, the last one is known as sakta. Whenever this sign comes, we have to perform the special rule, and that special rule is known as pausing without taking a breath. The pause is not much longer, it is only for 1 to 2 seconds. Okay, with the given examples, inshallah, we will learn how to implement and how to perform these given rules on the given signs. Okay, let's move and make the practice. The first one, which is known as mandatory stop and have a sign of meme. Whenever this sign comes, we have to stop. Okay, as this verse is mentioned, إنما يستجيب الذين يسمعون. Here you can see this sign meme comes in middle of this verse. So how can we perform? إنما يستجيب الذين يسمعون والموتى يبعثهم الله ثم إليه يرجعون. Understand? Here you can notice that I perform and I recite this ayah and end at this point, because here is the sign meme, and on this sign it is essential to take a stop, otherwise the meaning will change. So how can we perform? إنما يستجيب الذين يسمعون والموتى يبعثهم الله ثم إليه يرجعون. You have to stop and take a pause and take a breath, then start the next part of the verse, which is starting from wal mauta. Understand? Between yasma'un and wal mauta, here is the sign meme, which is known as the mandatory stop. Here we have to perform the stop and take a breath, and then we will continue the next part of the verse. Understand? Now move to the second example, in which we will know about this sign. Whenever this sign comes, you have to stop at that place, because we are ordered to stop. It is better to stop at that place. Understand? So let's move to the example, so we will clear how to perform this. This surah, which is Surah Al-Baqarah, this ayah is taken from this surah. And how can we perform this? قَالُوا سُبْحَانَكَ. Here you can see a little sign of qaf and fa is mentioned. Whenever this sign comes, we have to stop. So how can we perform this? قَالُوا سُبْحَانَكَ. قَالُوا سُبْحَانَكَ. لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا. Okay. قالوا سبحانك. We have not to perform this. قالوا سبحانك. Not subhanaka. We have to perform stop, and stop will like this. قالوا سبحانك. Okay, then after this la ilma lana, because subhanaka means glory to you. Okay, and la ilma lana, la ilma lana means no knowledge have we. Understand? Here the you is directed towards Allah Almighty, and we is for ourselves. Okay, so subhanaka means glory to be you, and la ilma lana, no knowledge have we. If we merge this ayah and we have not to take any type of pause in it, then it will change the meaning of the whole verse. Okay, so make a little practice. How can we perform? Recite like this. Qalu subhanak. Then stop and take a breath. Then start. La ilma lana. Okay. Qalu subhanak. La ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. I am sure that you understand the implementation of this rule on the given sign. Okay. Now move to the third rule and the third sign, which is like this. Sometimes this sign is comes like lam alif. Okay, whenever this or this sign comes, we have not to stop at that place. We have to continue and recite the whole verse. As mentioned in the Surah Al-Nahl, الذين تتوفاهم الملائكة طيبين يقولون سلام عليكم. How can we perform this? Here you can see this sign, and whenever this sign comes, you have to remember that here at this place we have not to take a pause. We have to continue and recite the whole verse without any pause. Okay? الذين تتوفى الذي الذين تتوفاهم الملائكة طيبين يقولون سلام عليكم ادخلوا الجنة بما كنتم تعملون. Understand? The sign is between طيبين and يقولون. Okay? So how can we recite this? الذين تتوفاهم الملائكة طيبين يقولون. How can? طيبين يقولون. Okay, in between these both letters we have not to take any type of stop. Understand? We have to say and to recite this ayah in one breath. Only stop if you have no choice. But again, you have to perform this word from the back. Okay, now move to the fourth and very important part. This sign is known as silent sign. At this place, whenever you see this sign, you have to pause without breathing. Understand? A short pause to separate two opposite meanings, but you have not to take a breath, and the pause will be about only 1 to 2 seconds. So how can we perform? Here in Surah Al-Kahf, الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا. Here you can see this sign, which is known as the silent sign and sakta. We have to perform a pause but without taking any breath in between these two words. Okay, how can we recite? عوجا. Take a pause of your voice of 1 to 2 seconds while holding your breath, then immediately say قيما لينذر. Understand? So I repeat all these rules and all these signs. The meme, we have to perform the mandatory stop here. Okay, whenever this sign meme comes any part of the verse, we have to remember and we have to perform the stop on that place. The second sign is qafa. Same like this, we are recommended and we are ordered by Allah Almighty to perform the stop whenever we see this sign in between any of the verse. The second one is this sign. Sometimes this sign comes like this. Whenever you see this sign, you have not to take any type of pause or any type of stop. You have to continue your verse during your recitation. Okay, the last one is sakta. This is known as the silent sign, but during your recitation, whenever you see this sign, you have to perform a pause of 1 to 2 seconds, but remember that you have not to take a single breath during performing this rule. Okay, so I am sure that you understand all these given rules. Alhamdulillah, with the help of Allah Almighty, today we have completed our ninth lecture of Tajweed, which is about Waqf. Waqf teaches us something powerful. Not every place is meant to stop, and not every stop is correct. When you stop at the right place, you protect the message of the Quran. When you ignore it, you risk changing its meaning. So, recite with care, pause with understanding. Inshallah, we will meet in our next lecture of Tajweed. So, practice it again and again until you can feel that your recitation is becoming more and more clear.